Good morning and welcome to Jour Du Galop Inside News, our Wednesday show where we're going to talk about last week's racing, two to follow, then obviously some barrier trials and some sand track work. The next meeting is in a couple of days. Right, let's talk about Saturday. Shaheel, what an incredible win by Rule the Night against all the odds. It was your training shot last week. You did speak about him on Friday as well. Yeah. Well done. Like I said, against all odds, the weight for age, drawn 10, and he didn't just win, he absolutely cruised in, and he really showed that he is really a force to be reckoned with. I noticed that they've put him up 9 points in the rating as well.
That's right, like you mentioned, he didn't have an easy race. He traveled pretty wide throughout the race, and he absolutely ran away from them in the final stretch. And you mentioned that last time. You remember when White River won that derby, you said that he was just cruising, he was going away from them. So I don't think personally that this horse is going to have a problem with the mile. Like you mentioned, he's got 9 points. I would be tempted to go for the Gold Cup, but I see that his next race probably could be the Colonel Tripper, which is 1 month before the Gold Cup on 1500. So I would imagine if he wins that on 1500, probably they might be going for the Gold Cup with him.
Yeah, I've got no doubt in my mind that he's going to stay the 1600. Listen, this horse really impressed me. I think he impressed
whole Mauritius.
The whole of Mauritius. And that was a very, very emphatic win. Instead now, he's had 7 starts, 5 wins, 2 seconds. And let's be honest, those 2 seconds, he should never have got beat the time when I think Viking Trail beat him. And then the wall tag,
by only a nose.
Yeah, I mean, it was so close. Yeah. So, and I went back to his South African form, and he wasn't bad, but he's really one of those horses that have come here and really enjoyed a Mauritian's life. So well done first of all, I think Gavin Glover, as the owner, he had 3 winners. Well done to him. He's another man that sort of puts his money where his mouth is. He spends money on his horses, and people like that deserve the success. So well done to him. I've noticed now that as well that he's now jumped into 2nd position on the Horse Champions log. He's now 1,885,000 rupees earned this season. And he's a great buy, this horse. Obviously, I don't think he's obviously not going to catch White River, but he's now taken the position of Cool at Heart in 2nd place. So, like I said, he's a horse for the future. 9 points. He'd probably be, he'd probably be a nice horse for the classics next year, like the Barbeck Cup, the Gold Cup. I don't think he's going to stay for the maiden, but he really looks like a top horse, and well done to all the connections involved with that horse Rule the Night. That was really an impressive win, and well done to Shaheel. He saw him in training on Tuesday, and he did select him on Friday morning as well. Right, I wanted to touch on Affiche. We spoke about Daryl Holland, the relationship that those two horses have. I have to say, what an incredible ride, because I thought that, what horse that was?
Captain of the Sea.
Captain of the Sea. I thought he had it in the bag. And Captain of the Sea, we spoke about on Friday as well. I remember Carl Neisius said this is a top horse, keep an eye on him. But top ride by Daryl Holland on Affiche, managed to get him down, his head down on the line. It was a terrific finish. And once again, I've seen it throughout my career. Some jockeys just gel with horses. You just have to look like Coursier Ramsamy with Rule the Night.
He's just with Diamond Light.
Yeah. Well done to Daryl Holland on Affiche, and a bit of mixed fortunes once again for him. I see he got another 2 week suspension, and I don't know exactly how that's going to work, because he's just about to serve a 2 week suspension. He's now received another 2 weeks. So are they going to run concurrently, or that we need to find out? But I would imagine that they're not going to, because they're 2 different offences. But let's see what happens as far as that's concerned, because that means that Daryl Holland's out for 4 meetings. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Perplexing, our banker. Well, we had 2 bankers. It's him was disappointing. But Perplexing, I couldn't see him getting beat. He won a good race. He's now qualifies for that race later. The President's Cup, right? He must be a big runner. The only thing I didn't like about him, but he's done it throughout his whole career, he sort of hangs in badly towards that, and he might just be feeling something when horses do that. But very, very good win. Obviously, if he has got a small niggle, the stable will look after him, but he must be a big runner in that Cook, the President.
Yeah, he will, because he's only rated 60 now, so he'd probably be carrying only 53 or 54 that day, and I would imagine the likes of Al Shiba or against will carry 58, so he's going to have a massive weight advantage in that race.
Yep. All right, and then another horse I wanted to touch on, we spoke about It's Him, how disappointing he was, but Northern Spy Well, that was a very impressive win, and I remember a friend of mine actually calling me a couple of months ago, and he said, who would you choose, Northern Spy? And there was another, I can't remember his name, and I went back and I had a look at this horse's form. I said, definitely Northern Spy. I think he ran second to Vardy, a horse back in South Africa who's done very, very well. And the way that this horse cruised past It's Him was it was a very, very good win, and sort of like he totally slipped through the net with, as far as I'm concerned, because I never, even though I had someone had spoken to me about the horse, I never really spotted him in training or anything like that. He sort of like slipped through under the radar, and that was a terrific first win by Northern Spy. He looks like he's got a good career here as well. Right, we did speak about suspensions. Daryl Holland's the 2 weeks. They already got the 2 weeks, so it's interesting to see what's going to happen as far as that's concerned. And Kevin Gonoa, he got a week suspension. There were a couple of jockeys in on Tuesday that had to explain a couple of their rides, and well, they didn't go much further as far as that's concerned. Right. That was Saturday. Well, we just want to talk about, obviously, our 2 to follow. The horse that I want to talk about is the Right Stuff from the Pritam Dabby stable. He had the green colours with the white square, I beg your pardon. Had not shown much in his first 2 starts, but there were whispers of a better performance on Saturday. When I arrived on the course, 1 or 2 people came to me and said, hey, watch this horse, the Right Stuff. Even though he did get a good jump, he sort of was off the bit quite early, but then he sort of grabbed the bit and travelled a little bit too well. Then eventually did manage to settle, and he went for the inside run, and he came in the straight. He had about 5 lengths to make up on Highland County. He really finished the race off pretty well. He only got beat half a length by the decent horse Viking Trail, and well, he beat a horse in South Africa called Sea Air. Sea Air has gone and won 2 races, and Sea Air has gone and won over further. So I'm thinking that the Right Stuff is looking for a little bit further as well, and I'd like to see him in sort of like a 1600, 1650, and he's definitely worth following. The Pritam Dabby and Randall Simons combination have sort of, they look like they're doing quite well together, and I reckon that this horse, the Right Stuff, definitely worthwhile following for the future. Right, Shaheel, the horse that you wanted to talk about. In fact, I also liked his run. We just mentioned that earlier on, Captain of the Sea.
That's right. He broke out well from barrier 5, and he quickly went to the front, which he has never done in South Africa. He was a front runner there. He's still very green, like Diego de Gouveia mentioned explained to the racing stewards. He mentioned 4 interesting points: that he had to encourage him while he was in the lead, because his horse, really, I think he didn't want to go forward, the horse himself. And at the 450, he shied away from the rails. He just wanted to hang out, and Diego had to bring him back in. And then he was probably fading away, but when FD came right alongside him, he challenged again, and that was really nice, promising horse. This Captain of the Sea, like you mentioned, Carl mentioned him to you. He's a nice horse for the future. I went back to check his South African form. He's a 2-time winner in South Africa, and most of the time he's run with the blinkers. So it will be interesting to see if the Rameshwar Gajada team tries him with the blinkers next time out. Probably he could be less green with that equipment, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on for the future, this Captain of the Sea.
Yeah, these Captain Elves really do well in Mauritius, and yeah, like we said, we mentioned, Mark Neisius did say to me, he said, keep an eye on this horse. He thinks he's a nice horse, so it looks like he's got a nice bright future ahead of him. He probably definitely will win a race before the end of the season, so we will keep an eye on Captain of the Sea. Right, let's talk about the 2 barrier trials we had yesterday. The first barrier trial, we had 3 horses, all about the Bass, Torpedo Officer and Carlos Mambo. It's all about the Bass, red colours, the Hirchand stable. He's a new horse, interesting form. Has also started his career off in Kimberley, and then he went off to Johannesburg, where he won a race in Johannesburg, and then he finished off his career in Cape Town. But he's a beautiful looking son of Warm White Knight. In fact, he looks just like Hard Day's Knight, who's also obviously by Warm White Knight. A big horse with a big white blaze. And he looks like a nice horse. There was a very impressive gallop. Look, he did sprint in South Africa, so I would imagine he would have got the better of Torpedo and Officer and Carlos Mambo. But this horse, even though he did win 1 race in Kimberley, he did win a race in Johannesburg as well. Placed a few times in Cape Town. I think that he's a nice horse. That gallop really impressed me under Manuel Nunes, how he pulled away there. Right, Torpedo Officer, he had the green, he had the blinkers first time, yet to be placed in Mauritius, and I think a couple of people will probably agree that this horse has been pretty disappointing. He has dropped from a 26 to a 22 now. Ricky Mangard trying on the blinkers yesterday. Let's see if that makes any sort of difference to Torpedo Officer. And then Carlos Mambo, this one's got some good form back in South Africa. It wasn't a bad debut, 4.5 lengths behind Danger Rock over the 990. But look at the horses he's run behind. Well, he's beaten Vasco Street Tractor. He's run second to Notre. He was also run third to a very top horse called One World. So this horse has got form. The thing is, we haven't seen him race for a while, and I don't know, maybe he sort of maybe got something happened to him, but he wasn't given a hard gallop under the youngster. He was just jumped out and eased back and wasn't really sort of pushed that hard. So, but Carlos Mumba, if he can find that South African form, he'll be okay. Yeah, and I really like the look about all about the Bass from the Hirchhorn stable. Right, that was the first barrier trials. Shaheel, you can talk about the second one.
That's right. Here again, we had 3 horses with Virtue from the Jean-Michel Henry stable with a red jacket. He was also tried with the blinkers for the first time, and he trialed really well actually. He broke out well, but he wasn't asked to go really fast. He was kept alongside Aladel. When they turned in for home, he just quickened away from him, and he had easily the better of Aladel. He's beaten last twice by Mudzi, which was a surprise, probably both because Cedric, I don't think he expected to be catched once again by Mudzi. He's a very consistent sort that he always finds one better on the race day. Hopefully the blinkers will pull out that something extra for him to secure his second win here in Mauritius. Aladel, he hasn't shown much in 8 starts here. He has came here last year with a rating of 55. For the Gilbert Rousset yard, the way he had to start for them, and then he moved to the Simon Jones stable. He always tries his best from the front, but fades in the last 200-300 meters. He has gone down in the ratings now. He's rated 49. The blinkers probably might help him in securing a much easy lead, and in one of those weaker fields he could probably be a surprise winner someday. Interesting to note that Swapnil Rama rode him, and as from what I'm hearing, Rama is going to get back to race riding as from this week. And then there's Mr. Bombastic. He's had only one run in Mauritius, where he finished 7th to play under the tune. He was scouted to run 1 month later, but he got scratched that day, and we haven't seen him ever since. He was back at track work yesterday, a nice trial, but he really couldn't complete the trial with these two. He's got some nice South African form, this horse. He's a 2-time winner as a 2-year-old. He's run against the like of Play Under the Tune, who was rated over 100 in South Africa, against Giving It Some, who won a 1 million race some years back. And then there was Chimichurri Run, a good horse from the Sean Terry yard. He's still rated 25. If he adapts to the local condition, I do believe that Mr. Bombastic could be a nice horse for the future.
Yeah, I wonder if he's had a problem, that horse, because like you said, he's only had the 1 run. We haven't seen him. Then he got scratched. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I watched that. It looked like he was striding out okay in the barrier trial itself. So, and from what I understand, I mean, not from what I understand, but I would imagine a horse like that wouldn't be cheap back in South Africa. He's got some terrific form back in South Africa. So let's hope he comes right. Probably a horse that we'll have to see the best of next season. Right. Sand work, track work, and myself, I was actually showing Shaheel something before the show started. Our track work last week, we managed to find 4 winners, 2 seconds, a lot of fourths. Titsikama Dancer 3rd as well. So it looks like we know what we're doing when we go down. And so keep an eye on the horses that we're going to watch, or that we're watching at the track. The first horse I want to talk about is Watch Me Dad, and I'm sure this horse likes his new home, as one can clearly see that he's a different horse in the mornings. And I'm not taking anything away from Jean-Michel, but he just seems to sort of really blossomed in the Gilbert Rousset stable, and some good gallops since shifting to Gilbert Rousset, and yesterday once again showed some good spark, and he really looks like he's in good shape. This horse started as favoured in his last 3 starts, but he has disappointed, and let's see if the change of scenery makes a difference. He is a talented young horse, and I believe we haven't seen the best of him yet. Saturday he's in, and he's in a benchmark 31 over 1400, and I'm sure he's going to be a big runner in that particular race. Right, horse, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is he one of your tutor followers or one of mine? Halo, one of your tutor followers. Yeah, that's Halo from the Simon Jones stable. Yeah,
I mean, he was a really nice debut for me. He got a good third to Barrack Street on the 990, which was relatively too short for him. He's a 5-time winner in South Africa. He's got decent form. He's won 3 times over the mile and 2 times over the 7 furlongs, 1400 meters. He wore the blinkers most of the times. He didn't run with the blinkers on his debut. He worked on 2 laps actually yesterday, which was pretty interesting. And again, Swapnil Rama on board. Unfortunately, like I said last time, he could probably be Simon's first winner. Unfortunately, he's not in there this week, so probably Simon's going to have to wait 1 or 2 weeks. Hopefully he has a decent horse this week. Simon was pretty unlucky Saturday. Arctic Flyer came so close, but AP Stripe just nabbed him on the line.
Yeah, I was calling that race, and I got a little bit excited because I thought Arctic Fly had it in the bag, and once again Manuel Nunes, he pulled up a little bit of magic that last couple of meters and denied Simon Jones his first winner. I reckon, I spoke to Simon after the race and he said, Mark, he drawn anywhere from 1 to 6, he probably would have won it. You know, he was drawn right on the outside, 10 out of 10, and that's what probably cost him the win. Yeah. All right. Well, that's Halo from Simon Jones. It's nice to see. See some of those horses that were suspended are in the nominations this week. What's the Wolf of Wall Street? I think. Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. So that's nice. It looks like Simon can now start entering those horses that were sort of found positive. Yeah. Right. Let's move back to In a Million from the Narang. It's not often we talk about Mr. Narang's horses, but I thought this horse worked pretty well. We haven't seen him again after he surprised us at long odds last time. I believe he was 32 to 1. I think Redline Captain, he absolutely thrashed Redline Captain that day. Sea King was in the race as well. He was a massive surprise, and I went back to watch that race. It was a really impressive win. Sort of 100 to go. He still had 4 or 5 lengths to make up, and he switched right through to the middle of the track. And he absolutely took off, and he won a good race. Haven't seen him for a while, for whatever reason it is, but he has worked well yesterday. And in my opinion, he's in the 5th race. It's a weaker race than what he beat last time. But I see he's entered in the 6th race as well, where he's got 53 kilos. And a horse like this with 53 kilos, it depends where he runs. Yeah. But the 5th or 6th. I think this horse has got he's got a good chance. He's working well, and his last win really impressed me. But only thing is, I think he's been off for a couple of weeks now. And we saw that with Black Cat Back. Yeah. Lack of sort of yeah. All right, a horse that was very unlucky last time. He was backed as well from Pritam Stable. Never fear.
Yeah, he has gone close twice this year. Excuse me. He hasn't found his first win yet. Like you mentioned last time, he went close, but we all thought that maybe the 1650 would be a bit too long for him. But he stayed on really well and he finished off really strongly to finish second, only 0.15 to Jet Puff. He worked really well alongside Ima yesterday morning. He's had only 1 run in South Africa, and he's now looking a lot more stronger and mature these days. He shouldn't take long before he takes his first win here, this Son of Ideal World. Like I mentioned, he's looking so much better in the morning, so much stronger and physically. We should keep an eye on this Neverfee. Unfortunately, not again entered this week.
Okay. All right, well, a horse that is entered is Duke's Domain, and he's a horse that I've been following with a little interest. Ever since I saw his first run, it caught my eye. And when his second run, he got beat 3 lengths by Euroclodian. That was a good run because just remember, Wordbuster was just about a length and a half in front of him. Wordbuster came out and won last week. And I just feel that this horse, now that he's had the 2 runs under the belt, he's going to be a lot better. He's entered in a 1650 benchmark 36 this week, 50 meters further than last time, which is, well, judging on his South African form, is going to be in his favor. It's going to suit him. And then, like I said, nice work. And with 2 runs under the belt, I think he looks like he's just about ready to win. But it is a tough race at benchmark 36. There is another horse that I want to talk about a little bit later that's in that race. But Duke's Domain, don't write him off. Let's have a look how he works this week, and let's see what sort of draw that he gets if he does run on Saturday. But I think he's a horse that we've got to keep an eye on. Right, Iditarod Trail, you spotted him.
Yeah, he won in a decent style in his second outing when he beat Texas Sky. Close second to Silken Prince last time out, but he wasn't disgraced. He's looking phenomenal at track work, this horse. He confirmed his good gallop of last Friday. He put up another good gallop yesterday morning on the Noise Juggler, who will be back from suspension this week. This horse, he's a light sort, but I feel like he's put up some weight. He's looking so much stronger physically now. His hindquarters and everything, he's looking great. I saw a picture of him yesterday morning. Of course, I watched the gallop. He's looking phenomenal. Like I said, Iditarod Trail. He's entered this week. He's entered in race 4, benchmark 46 over 1600 meters.
Yeah, he's a nice horse that I remember we selected him one day as a value bet at 10 to 1. And I think from what we saw on Tuesday, and I've seen that same picture as well. He looks like he's ready to pull off his next win. So let's keep an eye. So he is in on Saturday. Yes. Okay, right. One of Shaheel's horses, Al Sakra. He's been preaching this horse to me for months. He has obviously got a lot better in his last run after maybe suffering from that dreaded second run syndrome on his second start. That was a terrific second to one of my friends, Blow in the Box. And well, like Shaheel's always said that he'd like to see this horse lead And with a decent draw on Saturday, he might be able to, because he's in a 1650. And in a 1650 he might just be able to lead, and yeah, exactly. And but he has improved a lot. Remember, this horse has beaten Kings County as a maiden. He's quite sort of low down in the division. Is Al Sakrev. I think he's also in. I think he's in that race with Duke's Domain. Oh, yeah. So that's a benchmark 36. And if you think where Kings County is a lot. Yeah, exactly. So Al Sakra, obviously a lot better than what his merit rate or what his runs have suggested. Probably better than his merit rating as well. This horse, I think, is now ready to win. He's had the 3 runs under his belt, and like I said, he has beaten Kings County over 1600. And I think that in the 1650 on Saturday, he's going to be a big runner. And I agree with you, Shaheel. His best runs in South Africa is when he went to the front and led, and that's probably the tactics they might just adopt this week. Right, the jazz singer went on debut.
That's right, and he won well on debut actually when he went to the front to beat Selden's Son, who came out and ran a good second last week to Word Buster. He seems to have come on leaps and bounds from the debut win. Yes, he was rated 26, but he won in a benchmark of 31, and after that, when his rating is now a 31, so he could probably be running in a 31 against, and I do think that he might be too good in that 31. Listen, I think Manuel Nunes is leaving for Singapore this weekend. He won't be riding, so I would imagine that's the reason why he's not entered this week, the jazz singer.
Okay, yeah, Manuel Nunes is away in Singapore this weekend doing duty up there, so it'll be interesting to see what the Hurchans, how many horses they're going to run. Are they going to are they going to rely on him, or maybe just wait another week? So it'll be interesting to see what happens as far as that's concerned. Right, my last horse of the morning is 7 Silver. 2 good runs in his last 2 starts when he finished 2nd and 3rd. That 3rd was to Paddington's Luck. I thought that was quite a good run. He has performed well over this trip of 1500 and remains competitive in this class. In other words, on Saturday he is in a 1500 same class. And 4 starts here. He's been placed 3 times. His first win seems pretty close. And nice work alongside Silver Rock. Silver Rock's also, he's no slouch in this sort of division yesterday, and I reckon he's a big runner come the last race on Saturday is 7 Silver. I don't think it's the strongest field, and he could be a big runner there, 7 Silver from the Rameshwar Gajaras stable. Right, Shaheel, you're going to finish off the morning with Superstitious? Yeah,
a little revelation this season. He started off his career in 0.25, and ever since he's won 3 races. He won his first race beating Romanus in a 0.25. He won 2 more races after that, and now he's on a rating of 40. He worked really well alongside the beautiful grey Wendell yesterday morning, who was in an eye-catching run last time, Wendell, so 2 nice horses working there. He was beaten only 0.35 lengths by my favorite horse, Bye Bye Rocket, last time. He can go one better this week in the absence of Bye Bye Rocket, because he runs at the same terms of last time. He's entered in race 3, benchmark 41,990.
Okay, there we go. That's Superstitious, and well, that's training for. Let's hope we have a good week. I mean, like I said, our training shots did well last week. Yeah. Let's hope that continues. Remember, Friday we will be back here. We will be talking about the card for Saturday's meeting, and then obviously next week Wednesday will be our show Jour Du Galop, where we will be talking about a couple more horses. There's a feature race coming up next week, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think it's a big South African day coming up next week, where a lot of the South Africans come down and sponsor the race. There is normally a feature race on the day. I just can't think what it is right now. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us. We will see you on Friday morning. Thank you much, and enjoy your week. Goodbye.